Welcome, Mr. Thomas, back to horse racing today. Foreign Friday version, going to the land down under for Randwick Racetrack for a handful of races like we always do on Foreign Fridays. Tom, I'm always confused. I know the racing tonight won't. It's like pre going
Well,
out.
it's today, technically, over there.
So they're running on the 12th or the 14th?
They're technically running
On the 13th or the 14th?
Well, it's Saturday, so it's already the 14th.
It's already the 14th. All right. Just wanted to make sure, because whenever I make the tiles for whatever it is we're doing, then whenever we make the tiles, I have the date on there, and I don't know what date to put on there. So it's always interesting to me.
Well, it's, I guess you just roll the dice.
Yeah, and it's I guess in fact it's another gamble, right? And that's something that we do here. We did sort of successfully last week at Hong Kong, so hopefully we can do it sort of successfully at Randwick. Before we get cracking with that, as always, we have free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below. You can use that on YouTube. There's also a link on all of our social sites. When the show is over, you can head on over to horseracingtoday.net before the racing starts tonight in Randwick, and you'll see right here in the middle all of our picks, our thoughts, as well as a race replay with all of the races timestamped. Okay, all of that. Oh, one last thing. I mentioned here in Chicago, it's like 8 degrees today, 10 degrees. Wherever you are, well, in Australia, it's probably going the other way, the temperature. But HRT,
yeah, it's definitely warm.
Yeah, well, the track is good too, and from what I've read, the sun's out, so it should stay good. Maybe even the footing get better. But HRT gear right there. Click on that; it'll take you here. Get yourself some winter gear. Nice HRT hoodie to keep you warm. You got a bunch of different colors and choices, and of course, you can customize them all. I know we've customized our picks for Royal Randwick. Is it just Randwick now, or is it Royal Randwick now? That's another confusing.
It's Randwick right now.
Just Randwick. All right. When does it go Royal?
When it wants to.
So
I think it depends on what time for the types of races.
When the coin lands.
To be honest with you, I do not know.
Nor do I. Just sometimes it's Randwick, sometimes it's Royal Randwick. Today we're just getting the Randwick version, from what I understand. So the first race that we're going to deal with today is race number 5. As you can see, it starts at 10:50 p.m. Eastern. I know I'll be up at 9:50 today for sure, Mr. Thomas. 2-year-olds here going to run 1,000 meters for the INGLIS NURSERY as we take a look at what that 5 furlongs, well, that 1,000 meters looks like here on the track. I got to find it. 1,000 meters. We're going to come down here. We're going to make one turn and then head on home. So kind of a 90-degree-ish turn, Thomas. Do you want to be on the inside of that at this turn here?
Well, with 2-year-olds, yeah. I think it's asking a lot to be on a wide barrier draw in this kind of race, personally, unless you got a lot of horse under you.
So if early speed is important, let's take a look at the speed maps. For a lot of these horses making their first-ish start, but telling the Australian horse right there, number 4, looks like it has a lot more early speed than Within the Law. And if you're all about which horse has the most legs at the end, you got Gobi Desert, Sunrise Ridge, Within the Law here. That one's popping up there twice. Maybe Within the Law should be close to the front. Does have the most late speed. Looks like Telling can tell a similar story. Gail Jeanette, well, we see that one pop up in there, the one horse. So we have a look at how they'll start, what kind of form they'll have at the end of the race. Let's get a sense of who you think will win it. I don't know where Tom went. Tom disappeared. So forget Tom's picks for right now. Let's go about my picks then. I didn't realize that he had gone away. I'm going to go with the 7 horse, and here is my first pick, Gobi Desert. This one showed some speed in winning its debut, so second race improvement could be enough to get the job done. We did see in the early speed, late speed scenarios that Within the Law, this one closed to win its debut, should be a part of the pace early on, as well as have some late race ability. Tom's joining us now. Tom, I'm just kind of walking through my picks, and then we'll go about yours, a little reverse order. Maybe that brings a little bit more luck to the way we do things. Imaginate, the 5-horse, that's my third choice. I like the comment in its trials where effortless trial winner. I always like, Tom, when they make notes of a horse that's training and they say it runs effortlessly. What about you?
That is usually a good sign and a good observation too. I figure they know more than I do in terms of movement and what the horse should look like. I try. Sometimes I'm successful. A lot of times I don't know what I'm talking about.
Same here. And the final pick for me is Sequistra. Another one where the barrier works for okay. 10-1, first time out. That ain't too bad. So maybe we'll see if the track work, the practice work, can find its way to the actual racing world. So 7, 6, 5, and 14 for me, Tom. We went out of order. Now it's your turn. Hopefully you don't disappear again.
Yeah, new computer. Sorry.
That happens.
Imaginate, number 5 is going to be my top choice. I like her barrier work. She won it. She was a $300,000 purchase, and she's the first foal to race out from this mare. And interestingly enough, the mare, when she ran for the first time, she ran at this track, and she
won.
She won
effortlessly.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. And 12-1 would be nice.
Be beautiful.
Number 12, Catamo is going to be my next choice. She's run 2 barrier trials. She won her last one. She ran second in the first one. This one is from one of the top sires the 2-year-old. I'm only talking about 2-year-olds right now. It's got 4 Group 1 winners out of the 2-year-old, and that's a 24% win rate, and 17 stakes winners. 2 Don Hurt's doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
One sibling raced, and it won 3 times from 16 starts, and she should like the conditions, and I think the times are good, and the betting appears to be that they like it too.
Yeah, right now about 6-1.
Yeah, I'm going to take 6 within the law. Yeah, she ran a listed race. She's got race experience, one of the few in this race, and she won it. And she won by a little over a length and a half. Her barrier trial wasn't great. Her last, she had one after that race, and she ran 4th. Favorite, but 3-1, I wouldn't call an overwhelming, everybody's jumping on type of favorite.
Yeah, well, those odds might change by 10:50 p.m. Eastern. Wouldn't surprise me. You mentioned that some of these horses are making their first start. When you sent me the list of what we're going to do, and I started handicapping, I had to go back and go, wait a minute. Am I looking at the wrong races? 2-year-olds that haven't run before? We don't normally do those around here. But
well, I got to tease you every once in a while, right?
Yeah, we got to put the skills to the test. Sometimes we pass, and sometimes we fail.
And sometimes we fail miserably, yes.
Yeah, focus on the good. Randwick race number 6. Hopefully we don't fail miserably on this one. This one is the Coolmore Spelling and Mount White Stakes, 1,800 meters. This one is going to go from here. You got a really quick turn in there, and you come back around, Tom. That really quick turn has to have some impact on the race.
It does. It definitely does. But it's not. Again, that's the draw. Is very important, and this is a fairly good sized field. So, do you want to be stuck on the outside? If you don't have any speed and then you're on the outside, you're going to tuck in. I think the speed would be more of a problem in my opinion than a horse that would tuck in.
So lacking speed and you're to the outside, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
Early on, the horse on the inside, it looks like it has the most speed, is that 5-horse, So United. On the outside, Morning Sun, some speed there. Maybe going to have to really hustle to get to that turn first, but doesn't really look like from the gray and yellow bars that those two outside of maybe the 16, which is also eligible. I don't know if it's in the race or not. There are some scratches, so that would be the only other one, which would probably be the furthest outside. So I would think maybe that So United, best chance to get to the front. If you don't have that speed in the beginning, it looks pretty competitive down the stretch. So I would think, based upon the early pace setup, that you're going to definitely want to put some good positioning early on because everybody should be coming at about the same speed at the end. Tom, do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely a rush at the end. I don't think we'll get a killer pace based on the way these horses have run in the past, but we'll certainly be interesting to see who's gets the best trip out of this bunch.
Yes, and who do you think
with
that'll
that,
be?
yeah, with that, I'll take number 3, Tava Time, is my top choice. Ran third last time out at this level, closed from 9th. It was a nice race. He's run 4th in a listed race, 2 race back. And he won a 1,600 meter race at Warwick Farms, and that was also at this level. Definitely in form. You definitely will you'll see some money on this one. My next one, not so much on the money side, and that's going to be number 10, So Dazzling. She showed absolutely nothing in her first race back after a layoff. She ran last of 15. But that was a Group 3 race, so she's dropping a little bit. She's won her only start at this distance, which is interesting, but she hasn't won in 2 years. So that always is a concern. But you go back and you look at her racing. She only won once in her life. She's placed 3 times in 19 starts. You're going to go, why are you picking this one? Well, it's been racing against group level horses. So this is a bit of a drop and to run this benchmark race. And so it's either now or nothing is the way I look at it. And that's why I'm going to put it in there, just because you can't complain about those odds.
No, 91-1. And, you know, I just feel like any horse can win this race. So any pick with reason makes sense.
Yeah. I went with number 13, Morning Sun, my final pick. Ran well last time out, but it was not one of those ones that he was making progress. So he just sort of went around the track. He's one of these horses that pops in there and gets going. And this is he's 1/3 up. This is a 3rd up situation. I think you may see some form here. He did win his first start of the season at a lower benchmark level of 78. That was at 2,000 meters. So I think he's 1 for 2 at this distance. He should like it, and I think you'll see a good race out of him.
He likes the good going too. Yeah, if you look at the good going here, 6 out of 7 in the money. You'll take that in the money today. I'm going to start off with a horse, number 2, that's on a roll right now. Kerchak, 8-1. Won 3 races in a row. That's a pretty good record. Wins at 56%. Ain't nothing wrong with that one there, Thomas. Looking at the horses on a good surface, 6 times out, 3 wins, 2 seconds. Should absolutely love the footing today. Number 13, one that we agree on, Morning Sun. That's my next selection down here. Morning Sun being one, as you pointed out, Tom, before you disappeared again. I don't know what happened. There he is.
I do.
You know what happened or not?
Still getting the finger from one of the programs on here, so I have to figure out why it's doing that to me.
But Morning Sun, as you pointed out before you got the finger from one of your programs, that one is making the 3rd start after a layoff. So I do expect the horse to improve today in that 3rd up effort. Number 6, Kettle Hill. I was just laughing because there's been just so many issues with technology and things around the house and sinks and plumbing and everything else. So I'm just wondering, like, what's going to break next. Hopefully all the breaking is done, but that's what 10-degree
weather.
As
long as your pipes don't freeze, I guess you're okay.
Yeah, that's what 10-degree weather will do to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this horse here at Kettle Hill at 21-1, I feel like you're getting pretty good odds here because the last 2 races, this horse has been really sharp, probably the sharpest it's been in its career. You pointed this out in one of the horses you like, Tom. It's either today or nothing. So I'm hoping at 21-1. It's today again in a race where I feel like you could just really pick any one of these horses. It's almost like a Turfway Park race. Just take a random number generator. You might be better off. And then finally, Salt Coats, the 12 horse, is my final selection in this one. I think this is the quintessential Tom horse, win, and maybe not. I think only 11% of the time the horse has won. But finish in the money, hell, why not? That horse has finished in the money 67% of the time. So we'll take that because that's all that I'm expecting out of this horse. And if we get a little bit more than that, hey, it's a bonus, right? Race 7, next on our list of things to do, Tom. This one is the Max Brenner Christmas Cup. You would think they would have run this one next weekend, but hey, it's okay. Nothing about, well, they're ahead of us, just not that far ahead of us. 2,400 meters. Yeah, on Friday the 13th, nonetheless. But I'm glad it's the 14th over there. All the bad luck will be gone. So 2,400 meters. This one, they're going to make slightly more than one run around the track. That's a pretty long run all the way around that track. I would suspect that fitness is more important than early speed. So those late legs probably going to be dominating here, Tom. Do you agree?
Oh, I think based on the pace numbers that you're going to pull up, we may see some plodding along initially. And get to that 3 furlong out mark, then I think it could get more interesting.
Yeah, just a dozen horses in this field. So maybe if you can get out front and you can do so on reasonable fractions, you can be all right. You see here in the settling position, yeah, strangely, most of them will be middle forward, which kind of unsuspected. But I really don't think any of them are going to show fractions like they're running a 5 furlong race. And no. You got a quartet or a handful of them, Skylab, Floating, Cadaver, Nika, Spur, and Kirkby. Those 5 will be coming with the most pace at the end. And you said, Tom, I really don't think they're going to come flying out of the gate. So I think the middle and out is where this race will be won. Which one do you think from the middle out will be best?
Yeah, I'm going to go with number 11, Cadaver. Won his last 2 races at this distance and is 3 for 3 at this distance overall. He's moving up in class, but for that 3 in a row, he's got the form. He's versatile. Last 2 races, one he came from the back of the field, and the other one he raced closer to the pace. So that's definitely versatility in my mind. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to win 3 and now win 3. Next one will be number 3, Sea King is my next choice. Showed very little in his last race. It was a Group 1. It was the Melbourne Cup. Well, that's kind of a whole different ballpark game. Yeah. One has raced before at this distance in a Group 3 race. He's a good record at this distance. He's got 8 starts. He's got 4 wins and 2 placings. Comes off a barrier trial, which was nothing fancy, but I'd be surprised if Pete doesn't go off at a shorter price than now. Finally, I'm going to take Mona is my final choice. Ran second in this race. In his race last time out, it was a listed race at this distance. This is another horse that really loves this distance, and he's got 4 starts at it. Only won once, but he's placed in the 3 other races. So yeah, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. This talented bunch in here, but I think in the money is the way to play that horse.
I'm going to go with Cadaver too. It's rare when we agree on a horse that's going to win. Sometimes it's rare if we find 2 horses that we like in the same 4, but this one is unbeaten in a trio at the distance. So heck, kind of hard to argue with that. You don't know how a good horse is at a distance until he gets beat at that distance. Right now, he's unbeatable at that distance. So we'll hope that he can continue that streak, make us both winners. One down from there is the Alacantz. That's my second choice in here. This one should be forward in a race, as we mentioned, that's lacking a little bit of speed. Might actually be the only one that's up and out there. Does like that good footing, Thomas. Ran on it 3 times. I have 4 times, but 1 win, couple of seconds. If you look at the 3 numbers, 1 win, 3/3. If you look at when they rated it 4 times. Momona. Well, my daughter's name is Simone. We call her Mona. Today she's graduating from college. Congratulations, young lady. So I can't not put my daughter in here. 23-1. She's 23, so what the hell? That's a crypto code. Long shot, in my opinion, Tom. That's what you like. It's in the money type, like you like as well, and likes the good footing. 5 times out. Hasn't won, but 3 seconds and a third, so I'll take that. And then finally, the 6-horse Nikawa Spur, the New Zealander, 11-1 right now. Absolutely no horse in this race is in better current form than this one. So if that current form can hold, 11-1 will look like a bargain or a steal, depending on how you define it. 2 races to go. We'll start off with race number 8. This one is the Ingham Stakes. So it'll go off at 12:40 a.m. Eastern time in Chicago. Eastern time in Chicago, New York. 11:40 my time.
Time zones, huh?
Yeah, well, like we might as well pretend we're in Australia, right? We'll move a time zone for sure. 1,600 meters for this one. 1,600 meters. They will start back here in the chute. Plenty of time to run down the backstretch into that first turn. So getting early position, not so important, I don't think, with that long place to run. But getting yourself in the proper position, Tom, for your horse's running style, is that the goal in that opening backstretch?
Yeah, it's a decent sized field, so getting the trip will be paramount, depending on where the good going is. Of course, we're going to be able to see in earlier races where the better racing is. Mm-hmm. So hopefully follow those, and maybe you'll pick something up.
Well, if you want speed, there's 2 of them out here. Well, 3 of them. But a lot of them are pretty competitive. So you'll probably see this group out here head to the front. But it won't be that far behind to some of the other horses. So could be a tested early pace. And for a long race, that would be beneficial to the horses that come from the end. You do see the majority of the pack is middle back. So I would probably hope to have a horse up in here. That's a whole lot of traffic to weave through if you're all the way in the back. Could run into some problems along the way. At the end of the race, the one, well, again, I would really want a horse middle forward with so many comparable horses at the end of the race. That would be my focus in terms of my handicapping, Thomas. As far as your focus concerned, who do you think gets the job done?
I'm going to start with number 2, Gingo Tis, I guess. Any ideas?
Gringotts. It's like an Italian something.
Yes. He hasn't done much wrong since coming back from his layoff. He's won twice. He's finished second twice. He's undefeated at this distance. He won his first group race last time out. Again, he's going to go up a little bit in class, but he's got a favorable post, and I think he'll do very well here.
Mm-hmm.
9, Sheet Party is going to be my next choice. Running twice in the money in this distance. At this distance, last time he ran 3rd to my top choice, and he just sat behind the leaders. He hasn't won in 12 months, so that's why I'm putting him for 2nd. And finally, I'm going to take number 14, Zedaka. Ran a good 3rd last time out, coming off the pace at 1,500 meters. And that was a $10 million race, so not chump change there. He ran in that race, but he didn't do anything. Ran 2nd in Group 3 the time before. He's 1 for 1 at this distance. He's got 12 starts in his career, 3 wins and 7 placings. So it looks like this is the kind of horse, if they place it right against the right field, it does very well. And they seem to have done a good job of that in its career. So I have to put it in the money, put it for one of my in the money plays.
I have a Tom horse like that too. One that you picked. We both started in the same place again. Gringotts, the 2 horse. As you pointed out, the horse hasn't lost at the distance, hasn't lost at the track or the distance, loves the good footing in the money. 12 out of 13 really checks off a lot of boxes, as our good friend Terry would say. In the last 12 months, 7 races, 5 wins, 2 seconds. I mean, horse is in form. And if you're going to get 4-1 on that sort of record, yeah, I'll sign up. Number 10, Lek Varte. That's my next choice here. 35-1. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more like Thomas right now. This guy is the proverbial horse for the course. Look at that. 6 races, Tom, 4 of them ending in the winner's enclosure. You put that horse on another track 27 times, only found the winner's circle. Still a good amount, 5 times. I'm sure, Tom, you would take a horse that won 1 out of every 5 starts, but winning 2 out of every 3. That's a horse for the course by me. Also a big fan of the distance. 11 times out. Well, 12 times out. 5 of them ending up in the winner's circle. So loves the course, loves the distance. I love the price. 35-1 with that kind of record. Number 18, Estadio Mestalla. I hope I pronounced that right, but we'll find out. 16-1 shot in here, Thomas. Good form. Maybe not the best draw, but again, with that big, long backstretch, I don't really think that matters. This field, as I mentioned, most of it middle back. This horse should be in the front half of the field, should get a good stalking trip and get a jump on all of those closers. And then finally, the Tom horse, one that's also in your picks, number 9, Stapardi. This one, Tom, is all night, man. If this trifecta comes in with all these long shots, going to pay well. This one's done pretty good on good footing in the money, 8 out of 11. You see that right there. This horse likes to finish third. It's finished third in the last 3 starts. So if it finishes third again, cleans up my trifecta with some of the high-priced horses on top of it, I won't be complaining. I'll be cashing a pretty big trifecta, which is the goal. Last race for you and me today, Tom. But before we get to the Racing and Sports Razor Sharp Handicap, are we on tap to do anything next weekend for Foreign Friday?
No, I haven't looked yet, to be honest. But if all else fails, we go to Hong Kong.
All right. Yeah, that's always a good place to go. And you'll know if you subscribe to all of our social sites and the YouTube channel. We just got over 6,000. So thank you to everybody watching on YouTube who has hit that subscribe button. If you have not done it on Horse Racing Radar TV, tell you what, grab your mouse, do it right now so you don't miss any of our shows. We'll do Parks on Monday and Tuesday. Not sure what we'll do on Wednesday, probably Turfway Park, but next time around, I'm really going to use a random number generator. And then we're going to move
probably be more effective.
Yeah. I mean, you see that first race, like 40-1, 20-1, 30-1 on Thursday, on Wednesday. Crazy.
It's a crazy track.
Yes, it's a casino.
It's gotten, it used to be when it was Latonia and that, it was crazy, but now I think it's even wilder now. Yeah. But they're also getting bigger fields too.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, a lot of those, used to be a lot of those horses didn't travel out of Turfway very well. Now a lot of those horses actually travel very well for whatever reason. So I think not only are they getting bigger fields, better horses.
They can go to Keelan or whatever, and that's definitely a track move up, and they do well. So anybody doesn't think they do well, go look at the stats.
Yeah, I remember last year, like a lot of those horses coming out of Turfway into Keeneland, man, they were just kicking some ass to start the beginning of the Keeneland meet. So we'll see if that translates once again. So all of our social sites streaming down there below, kindly use them. Sign up if you're watching on Twitter, retweet, share our content. Help us out by following us, giving us a like, a thumbs up. All of the interactivity helps us boost our search engine scores. So when people search for us on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram or on YouTube or even on Google, we'll pop up when they're looking for horse racing, and that helps us grow the show. It's a very easy way for you to support us so we can keep coming back and, hopefully finding a few winners in between making fools of ourselves. Race number 9, Tom, the last one for this week. This one, as I mentioned, is the Racing and Sports Razor Sharp Handicap. 1,200 meters for this one. 1,200 meters. They're going to start right about, I'd say right about here. Well, back here in this chute. Okay, coming down this chute and getting to that kind of tight turn, I'd probably want to be on the outside because I think you could get blocked and cut off on the inside. Tom, where would you prefer your horse to be?
I want one of those middle barrier positions is my ideal. And if you've got something with speed, then you're on the inside, you're really going to have to hustle it out and get in and get into a rhythm to be able to have a chance.
Well, it does look like the rail horse, Brudenal, has the most speed. Eagle Nest on the inside too. So they got that inside positioning, heading for that quick little sharp right-hand turn. That could work to their benefit, well, unless they burn one another out trying to fight for that spot. As they settle into position, everybody wants to be middle forward, Tom. This could be a burn them up early on, so I would definitely be looking for those horses in the middle and back that have some late speed. And again, we find a pretty competitive bunch down the stretch, although Contemporary and Periel those two have a little bit more kick than everybody else. And the way this race shapes up, if either of those two gets good position coming out of that turn heading for home, they could be very difficult to contend with. Tom, who is your primary contender?
I did take the speed because I like the post position, and he's done well from the rail in the past, and that's BRENNER. He showed speed in his last race, which is fairly typical of him, and he finished fifth. It was a 1,000-meter race. Now he's going back to a distance that he prefers. Second up, he's got 5 starts and 2 wins. He ran in a Group 3 last time out, and I think he'll be one of the favorites, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
Right, 16-1 now, so hopefully they can.
Yeah, well, maybe it's that speed is scaring people. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
7, Prunella is going to be my next choice. Ran at Rose Hill last time out after a layoff. It was a listed race and ran 5th and lost by about 2 lengths. And, this is the distance he prefers. The distance last time, not so much. But he really has a interesting record because he likes to run second.
Mm-hmm.
Got 15 starts, 4 wins, and 10 placings. Well, you figure that one out.
Well, you might as well put that
the
one.
The odds are, the percentages are really good.
Mm-hmm.
But winning, had done it. But the only thing with this horse is he's never won at the listed level. He's placed, but he's never won.
Well, you said he likes to finish second.
That's why I'd put him in for second.
Uh-huh.
I think I'd take number 5, Hedged, is my final choice. Ran 3rd off the layoff in a Group 3 race. It was also at 1,000 meters. He sat 8th and moved up, which is always a nice sign. I don't think he was passing tired horses based on what I read. He's never won at this distance, but he's tried 4 times, and he's placed in 3 of those races. His overall record is he hasn't run a lot. He's only got 12 starts, 4 wins, and 5 placings. He's won second up before, but I think he's more for the in-the-money type of run. And he's certainly got the record to prove that he can do that.
Says here, drawn perfectly, probably wins. How about that? Hedged, probably wins. Well, I hope not, because I have Contemporary as my pick. Track, check. Distance, check. Footing, check. All of it's good. And the horse should be better in its second up outing. The 7 horse, Tom, some agreement again. Periel, that's my second choice in here. $7.50 right now. This guy's pretty strong at the distance, 14 times out, won 3 of them, 9 times finished second. Heck, at the track and distance, 2 times out, 2 seconds. You mentioned he likes to finish second. You mentioned that he also does like to finish second. The statistics mention that. What I like about this horse, Tom, is he rarely makes 2 starts in a row. And this time he is. He usually goes start, then some barrier work, start, some rest, barrier work, start. Making 2 starts in a row, maybe this is my finally healthy horse. Number 8, Jetabil. That's my 3rd choice. It's also making its 3rd start after a layoff. The last time this horse ran in a 3-race cycle, guess what it did in the 3rd race after a layoff, Thomas?
Ran 15th.
He won, which was the only time he won. But 3rd up, perfect record in the money, win, place, and show. I think this one will finish or finish second. 16 times out, 6 wins, 6 seconds, and a 3rd. So if he finishes 1st or 2nd, why not stick him 3rd? Makes sense. And then finally, Eagle's Nest is the speed horse that I went with, Thomas, the 3 horse. I think this is the one that could get to the front. If it can get the right fractions, the rest of the field might not be able to run this one down at the end. So that wraps up our picks today for Randwick. We're not sure if it's the Royal version or just the regular version, but whatever version it is, we hope that we made some good picks in there, Tom. Again, horseracingtoday.net. We will post all of our picks along with our commentary in just a minute. Let me pop that up here on the screen. You'll see that right here. And then we'll also on the YouTube, we will timestamp every race so you can come back and watch them individually as they develop later on this evening into tomorrow. It's going to already be tomorrow over there. So they'll be enjoying some sun and some warming spring weather. We don't get much spring weather around here. It's going to get colder and colder. Again, horseracingtoday.net. Great place to get yourself a hoodie, a hat, sweatshirt, anything that you need before the Christmas holiday to make the horse racing fan in your life look their best. And, of course, help the show. And finally, guaranteed tip sheet, as always. Free picks over there every single day. A link in the description on YouTube, Twitter, wherever else you're watching us. Tom, any final thoughts before we part for this Foreign Friday?
As always, decent-sized fields, and I hope we hit that first race, that 2-year-old race. That would be a nice start. A nice start for our handicapping.
And I will definitely be up tonight. I always say I'm not going to be up, and then I'm up. I don't know why. I feel like when you do the work, you kind of want to watch it, right? You're kind of invested.
Well, you're interested. I mean, let's face it. Part of the reason why I enjoy it, and then I'll, sit there and swear at the television.
Yeah. I mean, it's the computer screen. I like that Kermit the Frog I put up on my Twitter, HRT at HRT Rich, just looking at my phone and the results and shaking my head. What was I thinking? I had that one circled too. And then I look back and 14 horses, I circled them all. That way I had to have the winner. What are you going to do? All right, Tom. Well, that wraps it up for this Foreign Friday. No matter what you're doing until we get back together again on Monday, Terry and I for Parks. We certainly hope it has God's grace, God's favor, and all your endeavors on the other side of the world, Thomas, end up in
the winner's enclosure.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic and blessed weekend. We'll see you Monday.